Hello and welcome to Tara Smith's Kitchen. I am Tara Smith and this is my tiny little kitchen. And today I'm going to try to make chili for you. And there's a couple of ingredients that I'd rather have that I don't have, but I think I can make this work. So what we're going to start off with, I have, what do they call these? I have an ancho pepper, I have 2 guajillo, and another one's called pasilla. I'm not Hispanic, so that's in here. If I'm not pronouncing it right, don't crucify me. But I have those in here, and I have a heat kind of down low. I had it up a little bit higher, but then I turned it down lower. And I'm just going to soften these up a little bit. Kind of cut them up, and just a couple of minutes, they're going to sit here on the heat by themselves in the pan. And I'm going to get some beef broth ready. And y'all know how I do beef broth. Basically, I'm going to use better than bouillon. Yeah, I sound like I'm fancy. Bouillon. But that is what I'm using. If I can find whatever the hell she did with my spoon. I can't keep a spoon. Though I do try. Let me wash this one off. It's clean, but I don't want to wash it. I'm going to wash this one while I'm at it. I'll go ahead and get 2 cups ready. What we're going to do is we're kind of making a base here for the chili with the peppers. And what I don't have that I would like to have are some Roma tomatoes, basically because I forgot to pick them up, or some cans of diced tomatoes. That bearded guy, hello, how are you doing? You're making fajitas. Awesome. I need to make pineapple fajitas again. Thank you for reminding me about that. But, let me move my drink out of the way. I have some bacon. We're not going to use a lot of the bacon. Of course, it's HEB. I'm just going to kind of render it down. I have meat from HEB. I have all kinds of stuff from HEB. Why? Because I live in Texas. And in Texas, we shop at HEB. If you come to Texas and you need anything, you go to HEB. And me personally, I kind of boycott Walmart because I'm a truck driver. And get as many of the seeds out of these things as you can. If there's like 1 seed or something, that's fine. But you want to go ahead and cut them up, get all the seeds and stems, everything out, and have them ready. For the broth, I think I'm going to put 2 or 3 cups in there, probably about 3 cups. This is the broth that I'm going to use, the base, what do you call it? The beef stock that I'm going to use. And why is Rumble not playing? Here's Rumble. It's playing now. 6 people watching on Rumble. Hello, how are you doing? I'm not forgetting about you. I just have to have something else up here with the chat. Have my phone going because I use StreamYard, and StreamYard will not show the chat from Rumble. At least I don't know how to get it to. If you know how, let me know. So I just pull my phone up so I don't have one of them big things where I can move the screens around. We're just softening these up. When you buy these, you can feel through the packaging if they're getting hard or anything like that. You want them to still they're dried out, but you want them to still kind of be soft. If they're getting hard, that's not what you want. Buc-ee's. What is that bearded guy? South Texas shopped at Buc-ee's. Let me put that comment up there. Tourists shop at Buc-ee's. People who want real barbecue don't shop at Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's is a tourist trap. You want a lot better brisket sandwich? I would suggest going to Woody's or Cooper's or any of the mini barbecue places that we have. Woody's over there off of 45, they're about exit 164. They are much better than Buc-ee's. Now, they're not as fancy, they're not as tourist trap. They got a lot of canned goods and stuff in there, like, people canning. They got a big dirt parking lot for the trucks up on the hill. It's paved down low for the cars. But you will get much better food than Buc-ee's. But then again, as a truck driver, and because Buc-ee's has all those signs out there that say no trucks, I might be just a little bit jaded against Buc-ee's. Need just a little bit more. There we go. And all this is going to go into the blender. There are a lot of people in Texas that go to Buc-ee's too. But they're usually city folks and stuff like that. How they could at least have a pull through on the side where a truck driver could go in. I might like them a little bit better. But their barbecue's not that great. In my personal opinion, have to make sure I say that because Buc-ee's likes to sue people. I just happen to think, in my personal opinion, that Woody's is better. It's not as pretty. It's definitely pretty. Now, I will say that Buc-ee's has the largest, cleanest restrooms. That place is amazing when it comes to that. It's just the rest of it. I mean, beaver nuggets, my son likes them. They like all that stuff. But actual barbecue, you want barbecue. I would go to Cooper's or I would go to Woody's or one of them. Or one of the millions and millions of actual barbecue places that will have much, much better barbecue than Buc-ee's. BM Foss, how you doing? Krabby Turtle, how are you doing? I've softened them up enough. I'll go ahead and add this beef bouillon, better than bouillon actually, to it. Turn my heat up a little bit. And I'm going to add another cup to it as well. Over here making a mess. Now, I'm not going to film this for the whole time. I'm going to get most of it done, and it will be done when I finish. We're only going to do this for about 2 hours. And I might come on later in the week and do cornbread or something. But Fritos works as well, which is probably what I'm going to do at work. Is I'm going to grab a bag of Fritos and put with it. And that works good. Just start running out of time. Time, our most precious commodity. Dog, you better leave that cat alone. Dennis, come here. Come here. Come on. You lay your ass down right there. Sit down. Leave that cat alone. No more scratches on your nose. Gotta go. Dinner's done. Well, thank you for showing up, bearded guy. You can catch the replay. I haven't decided if I'm going to use 2 or 3 pounds of meat. I might use 3. That's a lot of meat to be kind of trying to brown at the same time. Did you just go in the cabinet? I think my dog just looked in the cabinet. Like he literally opened the door with his nose and took a look. You have to watch it with him because he is a Mastiff and he kind of knows what his dog food looks like. And if he's hungry and you haven't got his food out in time, well, he might just grab a can of dog food and open it up himself with his teeth. And you'll come home to a chewed up can of dog food. That's a Mastiff for you. I don't know if I'm going to use 2 or 3 pounds, I think I said, of hamburger meat. It's either going to be 2 or it's going to be 3. I'm going to use probably about 1/4 of this pack of bacon, which we're going to put in first. Then I'll take that out. And then we'll put the hamburger meat in there. We'll brown it, take it out. Then we're going to put in our onion. I haven't chopped up the bell pepper yet. I need to put a bell pepper in there. I've got 3 cloves of garlic. And I haven't decided yet what I'm going to use for the tomatoes, other than I've got a can of tomato paste. That works. But if you have about 5 or 6 Roma tomatoes and you want to dice them, that will work much, much better. But my options here, I have the HEB mild diced tomatoes and green chilies. I have the original Rotel diced tomatoes and green chili. That's going to be a little bit hotter. I'm trying to keep from making it too hot. I like hot food. Other people don't. And then I have the Hatch diced tomatoes and green chili, original. Really good for queso. Even says so. I'm probably going to use the mild here because we're already putting the peppers and everything in here. We're softening them up and we're getting them ready. And that will work. Let me check the comments. Everyone's saying hi to each other. Have 16 people out there on Rumble. Thank you so much for watching. And I'm trying to get just a little bit of sweetness in it without cheating and adding sugar and stuff, because I'm trying not to have sugar in most things. Sort of a weight loss thing, and diabetes runs in my family, and I'm pre-diabetic as it is. Trying not to go fully, my spouse is. And so we also have those restrictions around here too, as she can't have a whole lot of sugar. Not that she obeys that, but I'm not going to help her cheat. I don't get the Walmart bottled water, like the flavored water. What I end up getting, I found, and HEB should really sponsor me. But this is, like this one here, sweetened white grape. It tastes really good. The lime tastes good. The lemon tastes good. What is that flavor I don't really like? I don't care for the strawberry as much, but their flavored water is much better than the ones that Walmart has. So if you're in Texas and you have the same problem here that I do, you're trying to cut most of the sugar out of your diet, and you're looking at those flavored waters and stuff, I would suggest the ones from HEB over the ones from Walmart. And this is all fixing to go into a blender. Whatever you have to blend it with, you can blend it. One of them little tiny blenders like she uses for her shakes in the morning, or a big blender like I'm fixing to use. I kind of bring this to a boil. Then we're going to put it in there. And we will have more things to add. As I make a mess. And if you're on Rumble, please leave a comment. Let me know that you're out there. And I do accept rants if you want to leave those. They do help. The reason I'm making chili right now, because last week I didn't have chili money, technically didn't have it this week, is my wonderful patrons on Patreon. I'll probably go back on this chat and add to the comments my Patreon link. I don't really know how to set that up where all my chats do that. If someone could help me, that'd be great. More mechanically inclined than technologically. But due to the Patreon donations, I had money for chili. So thank you so much, everyone that is a patron. I see definitely one patron out there. Thank you. I appreciate it. It all adds up. Turn this around. Really just softening these up, and we're just making a nice little base here. So what we're going to do is, like I said, I'm going to take about a quarter of that pack of bacon. We're more going to render it down than anything else, but we are actually this time going to get it a little bit crispy. And we'll take that out of the pot. We'll put it in another bowl. We're going to start browning the hamburger meat up real good. Then we're going to be taking it out of the bowl. Then we're going to add our vegetables and stuff in here. And our spices and all that good stuff. Everybody has a different way of doing spices. MKJO over on Rumble, thank you for leaving a comment. You are awesome. Krabby Turtle. Okay. I know who you are. Thank you for reminding me. Sometimes it does get hard to keep track of people's names across platforms, especially if you're broadcasting to multiple platforms. Because you know there's one name on one, you know there's one on the other, and then you get used to commenting on one platform to somebody, oh yeah, this is that person on that one. And there's just so many people on there. It does, even someone you talk to a lot, sometimes you forget, oh yeah, on this platform, this is their name. Then you have people change their name, and you don't realize they changed their name. This is smelling good. And of course, I have chili powder, the standard McCormick, everybody's grandmother used. I have cumin. Probably gonna put 2 tablespoons of cumin in here. Maybe 1 of chili powder, and I'll taste it and see if it needs more. Put some oregano in there. And these peppers, the dried peppers, they have a little bit of sweetness to it. And that's why I like using them. You can kind of control the heat, and you get a sweetness out of them that you don't seem to get from, the spices and the chili mixes and the powders and stuff like that. And you can play with it. You can add more, you can add less. Virtually every recipe that I cook is not an exact recipe. Half of it is kind of making a few things up as I go. As far as I don't have one ingredient or I don't have another ingredient, you know, and it's like, what will work for this? What will work for that? Feel free to play with any of it. That's how a lot of great recipes get made. Have someone trying to get my attention over there. Get those just a little bit hotter. And we're going to put that in the blender. What would be a good spoon for that? Is it fresh? Yes, it is. Awesomeness. And yes, I make a mess. It's my kitchen. I can make as big of a mess as I want to. We went to the Czech Fest today, and on my Patreon, I have a video of a band that was playing there. I should be putting a video out later on this week when I have time to go through my footage. But this is Texas. Most people here of Czech descent, our ancestors came between about 1900 and 1948. Most of them came between the wars. A smaller group came right after the Second War, before communism actually took over. And they were lucky they got to escape. Turn that down. So the food, what you'll see is more, you'll see a lot of kolaches, stuff like that. I'm talking real kolaches, not that stuff that they put meat in it. It's not a pig in a blanket that you see sold all over at every breakfast shop, and people call it a kolache. It's not a kolache. Then you'll see barbecue, and you'll see a lot of Mexican food. There we go. Because we have a very large Hispanic population here in Texas. Have a large Czech population too. And there is, reading comment on Rumble. Doesn't let you update screen names, at least not easily. A lot of us did the same kind of work not that long ago. And the Catholic Church puts on the Czech Fest. And most of the immigrants that came here, you know, the Czech immigrants, they were Catholic. And the history there, you have the first defenstration of Prague. It's Pražské defenstrace. And you have the second defenstration of Prague that they threw the papists out the same window. And according to the church, the angels and the Virgin Mary carried them to the ground. Everyone else said they landed in a pile of manure. So, however you want to look at that, they lived through it. It's a miracle in the Catholic Church, actually. And there was a 20 years war, of which the Catholics won. It's the whole Protestant thing. If you want to look into that history, you can. And so they were very Catholic until recently. Recently, they're more non-religious. most of the people identify as non-religious. That's kind of a worldwide thing that's going on, though, not just that. So I think more of the descendants of Czech immigrants here are Catholic than are in the Czech Republic. But there is a connection with the Catholic Church. And of course, there's a large Hispanic population in the Catholic Church. So you show up to a Czech fest and they have wonderful, awesome tacos and tamales and everything else, and a bunch of kolaches and some barbecue. But I'm not complaining. It's all good food. And some Czech music. Not complaining about that. Or kind of waltz heavy on the music. If you like to waltz, that will work. And I'm going to mute this just for a second so that I can blend this up without offending your ears. So give me just a second. There we go. You should hear me now. I blended it up. Now I'm going to take some bacon out and I'm going to cut that up while this is warming back up. And we're going to start on the meat. One day I will finish my kitchen. I'll have more cameras set up. The day is not today. I have a very busy life with work. And that takes up a lot of my time. In fact, I got to be ready for work at 2 o'clock in the morning, which is why I'm not going to go too long with this. We cut the bacon up. Cutting bacon up over here. So I'm still here. I'm just cutting up bacon. This one's a little thinner slice than I usually use. I do cook with a lot of bacon. Bacon is good for you. I don't care what the doctors say. They want you to cut out the carbs. They want you to cut out the bacon and all that kind of stuff so you can live, 5 years longer. At a certain point, what was the point? Do you want to live or do you want to live? We're going to render this down, and then we're going to take it out. And I'm going to let this one get a little crispier. And then we're going to start adding hamburger. Mr. Malone, how are you doing? I have chili going. That is what I have going. Chili, no beans. Which I know it's a Texas thing to have chili, no beans. I live in Texas, and everybody likes chili, no beans. Thank you. Yes, you do. Hold on a second. I'll do it to you. Move it somewhere. You had it on the counter. Hold on. I don't know where I put it. He was telling me to put the bacon up. Anyways, back to the beans. Even though in Texas, chili no beans is a big thing. And it always has been. Most of the chili that I've had in Texas, and I live in Texas, sorry about that. You had a big thing of ice in the freezer. Most of the chili that I've had has had beans in it. And it's not hard to add beans to chili with no beans in it. You can get cans of beans after you cook it and add it, or you can add it while you're cooking it. You're going to do it while you're cooking it. Depending on your sea level, I would soak them first, because I live at sea level, so soaking them isn't as important. I generally do, but a lot of that has to do with altitude. And if your altitude is higher, I would highly suggest soaking them. Yeah. What I'm probably going to do with this, like I said earlier, is I'm going to get a bag of Fritos, and I'm going to heat it up at the truck stop and put some Fritos and some cheese on it. And that's what I'm going to end up doing. If you get some little crumblies down there and what have you, you know, don't worry about it. It's just flavoring. You're about to add some hamburger meat. I thought about using my cast iron skillet. If I had a bigger cast iron Dutch oven or a bigger cast iron skillet, I just got the standard chicken fryer, I would have cooked this in there. So if you have that huge cast iron skillet, you can actually cook this in there, and it works out pretty well. If you do bacon like this, you need to stir it and let it sit. Stir it, let it sit. I have a tendency that I like jacking with things a little bit too much when I need to let it sit. Yes, there's also white chili, and there's chicken chili, and there's turkey chili, and there's all kinds of abominations. It needs to be beef. You know, now some of the Southwest chili, chicken chili, that's not bad. That's something different. This is more Texas chili. Oh, this will be one of the few times you see me use this. This is smoked paprika from, yes, you guessed it, H-E-B. Because most of the dishes that I use paprika in are more Slavic dishes, and you really want like sweet Hungarian paprika, or if you can't find that, Spanish paprika, and that works best. I think I've made up my mind. I'm going to put the mild, because I don't want it too hot. This will make it hot quick. That's basically H-E-B's Rotel tomatoes. And the mild doesn't really have spice to it that much. The regular has that spice that kind of gets you afterwards, you know? Your mouth's like, whoa, where'd that come from? And I like hot food. If you like hot food, use that. Like I said, if you've got about 5 or 6 Rotel tomatoes, not Rotel, Roma tomatoes, and you can dice those up, that will work much, much better. There we go. Now it's starting to get dry. This can be a little bit crispy. It's not going to hurt anything. You're going to want the bacon grease, and you're not going to want your hamburger meat too lean. You can use it lean. You might want to add some oil if you do, but you're going to want the water and the grease and what have you off the hamburger meat and the bacon for when you put the vegetables in. I'm looking for things that I just sat behind me. There it is. I'm seriously, like, if I get like a Coke or something, you know, of course a Coke down here means, it can mean Coke, but usually means like Pepsi or Dr. Pepper or something like that. If I can get the no sugar version of a Coke, I will get that. If I get an energy drink, I'll do that. I've been putting fake sugar in my coffee. So after doing all of this, please no one ask me to give up my carbs. Because at that point, someone's going to die. There we go. That's almost too long. And if you drop a piece, that now belongs to the dog. Those are the rules. He has told me so. Here you go. And the bacon will go there. So how much of this hamburger meat do I want to do? I think that'll be enough. There's way too much in the pot, but we'll see what we can do with it. Chop it up here. This is not a professional kitchen. This is my kitchen. So if you don't like something, that's fine. You can eat it for breakfast tomorrow. I need to make, actually I think I've come up with another sticker for my channel once I get around to getting it made. And if any of you can make the sticker and send it to me, that'd be awesome. And someone probably already has, but some variation of like the Gadsden flag or something with a gas stove on it, since they want to come after gas stoves. I am not giving up my gas stove. I do not care. And thank you for the comments, Krabby, over there on Rumble. I said I have a tendency to mess with it too much. So what are y'all doing out there? As you can see, my stove getting dirtier and dirtier. And I need to get another bag. For the rest of the hamburger meat. Now go ahead and put that up. While we are doing this, so I don't get yelled at. I get yelled at a lot. There we go. I know I've got another bowl somewhere I can use for this. I have to. Be careful with hot grease. You don't put it in something that is going to crack. We'll put hot grease in something and have it crack. We are going to put this back in here. But right now I have a bit too much. So I'm just going to spin some out. You will get a lot of water and a lot of grease from the hamburger meat. There we go. Now I'll put that over here for now. Might have to do that again. So we are browning it, not boiling it. That's my wrist. Sorry for the noise with my chair. It is an old chair. I am big. Just a little bit longer. It's a process. Don't worry, we're not throwing it away because we're going to use it. I'll chop those up a little bit. 13 on Rumble, and I've got shows 5 between YouTube and I guess Twitch. So if you're out there and you're watching on Twitch, hello to you as well. If I forgot to say hello. If you're on Twitch, your comments will show up on StreamYard. Crabby, you like watching cooking shows and asking your wife to make it. Well, that's awesome. If she likes to cook, that's awesome. The cats are watching me like, what is she doing? Is that our food? If they could speak, you would swear they were starving. You'd be like, there's 3 bites out of my food bowl. I'm going to starve to death. I'm going to cook this for the film to the point that it's technically done. And then I'm going to have it cook a little bit longer while I'm getting everything else ready for work tomorrow. And just because I don't want to make this a 3-hour chat, I'm going to let it cook longer. If I let you see the whole process to the point of, then all you really have to do is let it keep cooking for longer. Taste it, add peppers if you want. Which is another thing about using actual peppers. Because, or the other ones out there, here, we're also going to be adding chipotle peppers and adobo sauce. And that stuff is good too. You can add 2 or 3 and have it have a little bit of spice to it, but not too much. Or you could add 5 or 6 and have a lot of spice. But you can sort of measure it better, I think, and have better flavor than just using, a packet of some sort of whatever, somebody's famous chili spices or something like that. I like using the actual ingredients. Not that some of that stuff can't be good. I like this way better. So I have 17 over on Rumble, 6 on YouTube, And Twitch. The way this seems to usually go is like the next day, like Monday night through Tuesday, I'll get a whole lot more views on Rumble. I don't think Sunday is the optimum time to put out a video for anything. It's just the time that I have available. So, because I work during the week and I work usually 14 to 17-hour days, sometimes more. So it's hard to do something during the week unless by some weird chance I'm off. Now, where's my bell pepper? I need to go ahead and cut that up because I'm just going to need it. Running my mouth. I'm not chopping up vegetables. It does not work out yet. But here's a bell pepper. Slide my chair over. Sorry for the noise. Cold water. And stir. I'm wanting this to get kind of just a little bit of crisp to it. If it's not going to take too long. This would probably be the thing that would be good for like YouTube shorts or something. Get a camera over here where I can show myself chopping all the vegetables and everything and make like a 60-second clip of chop, 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 and do what I need to do. I've been doing more lives recently because of not really having time for editing, just work obligations, and of course, I need to watch time. So for right now, times are working. And when I have a little bit more time, I'll do some more actual like videos, recipes and stuff like that. Start doing some cakes and some breads. I don't know if y'all can hear the chopping or not. I have to listen to it later and see if it is audible chopping. And stir. Starting to sound about right. had the Roma tomatoes, what I would have done was I would have roasted the Roma tomatoes and I would have put that in the blender with the beef stock. And this is going to go over here. And I have another pan ready. There we go. Kind of want that little sticky crunch there, whatever you want to call it. You can hear it. That's about where we're wanting it, where it's going from brown to starting to get those little crispies. About that minute. If you leave a little bit in here for the next step, the world is not going to end. Okay, that. And yes, that pan will be hot, so be careful. Like all this grease, I'm going to pour it back in here. Turn my fire back on. Diva Michelle McIntosh, how are you doing? You got your 5 people last week. Awesome. Thank you. Congratulations. I'm like thinking in 2 different languages at the moment. Words are different. Now, I'm going to add the onion, and I have 1 large white onion here. What I forgot to do, let's take a little bit of that onion out. Kind of start popping, so let me do that now. That's more for looks than it is anything else. Take a little bit of that out. There we go. Cut this down. Some onion and bell pepper. And that bacon grease and the drippings from the hamburger and all that, we are going to sweat this down. Then we're going to add the garlic. Now, I used 3 cloves, but 2 of the cloves of garlic were pretty large, and 1 of them was a normal size. So 3 to 4 cloves, however you feel on the garlic, it's up to you. And on the meat, you can use hamburger meat, you can use like rib meat, you can use any kind of beef really that you want that you can kind of get brown on. And, you know, stew meat like you're going to make goulash or something out of. You can actually do that, but season it well if you're going to do that. A lot of good salt, pepper, that sort of thing. I'm cutting back on the salt as well. Michelle says, I'm great. How are you doing? Oh, I'm doing okay. I'm working, limited on time. As usual, that's like my normal. That just means think they're going normal. I am thankful to have a job that stayed with me through the pandemic and through my motorcycle wreck and You know, a lot of companies would have just let me go, and they didn't. I like the owner. I like my boss personally. I mean, sometimes there's just stuff with work that you're not going to agree 100% with everybody. If you're looking for that, you're not going to find it. But I can't complain. Um, he will work you to death. But in the trucking industry, complaining that you don't have enough time is what you want. Anyone who's looking at becoming a truck driver, you want to be somewhere where you're like, I don't have the hours to do this. They're pushing you. There's always something, and you got another load, and you're trying to figure out how you're going to do this. That's what you want. You don't want to be sitting at a truck stop for a day or two waiting on a load. So what am I cooking? I'm cooking chili. I started off with some dried peppers. Cat, will you move? Get up there. You know better than that. Guajillo peppers, ancho peppers, I can't remember the name of the other ones. What did I just pull loose? Okay. Didn't come out of the wall. That's good. See if my phone's still good. I don't know what the charger is. The tip's bent. Let's see if this still works. Oh, it still works. Good. Sorry, I caught my foot on the charger. And now I'll go back to the peppers. It's the ones I can never remember the name of. Here we go. She reran. These, pasilla, what have you. They look like this. I have some garlic I'm about to add to this. We brown 2 pounds of hamburger meat after the bacon was rendered down, so we have bacon as well. I'm just go ahead and put that with the hamburger. That's going back in it. Basically, I rendered the bacon down, and I got the grease. Cooked the hamburger meat in it, taking the water and the grease out of it as I was cooking because I wanted to brown it. Still kind of want the flavor. Then I put that back in there after I took the meat out. And we're cooking these down in those drippings. It's 1 large white onion. And I took a little bit out for topping. And a bell pepper. And it's easy to burn garlic. If I'm doing garlic soup or something where I'm kind of roasting the garlic first, I'll put it in first. But right now I'm going to cook these down a little bit more, and then I'm going to add the garlic. We took those peppers that I heated up first, and I added about 3 cups of, I'll show you. Better Than Bouillon roasted beef base to it after they started softening up, and got that good and warmed up. I put it in a blender. It's sitting in a blender right now. And once I get these where I want them, we are going to add that back. My measuring spoon. We are about to start adding spices here in a minute. I usually don't use smoked paprika, but I will be using it for this dish. Of course, like I said earlier, most of the ingredients most of the dishes that I cook that need paprika are more like Slavic food. You know, it's Czech food, Polish food, Ukrainian, Slovakian, Russian, that sort of stuff. Georgian. I hadn't made that in a while. I hadn't even made hachapuri, the Georgian boat bread. And for those dishes, you really need like a sweet Hungarian paprika. I'll show you that one. This is sweet Hungarian paprika. Sometimes you can find it at World Market. Sometimes HEB or someplace like that has it. If you can just get Hungarian paprika, that's awesome. If you can't find that, you can find Spanish. That's a really, really close second. Then everything else comes after that. But talking about these countries over there, the Czech Republic is about the size of like South Carolina, the whole thing, sitting right in the center of Europe. It's got kind of that Eastern European taste with just Central European. It is a Central European country, while a lot of those others are technically, they're Eastern European. You have more castles in the Czech Republic than anywhere else. You can thank the Czech Republic, specifically Pilsen, for your beer, unless you're drinking mead or something like that. The Germans did wonders with it, but it's Czech originally. You have the first astronomical clock, working one, in Prague. Beautiful architecture, but there's a difference. And just look up the castles in Prague and the rest of the Czech Republic. And don't go over there and call it Czechoslovakia. They'll look at you like, what? There's a little bit of a split after the fall of communism. Our languages are close, but the Slovaks are different. And they wanted a split, so they got a split. Night crabby. Yeah, it is smelling good. I'll be adding some more stuff to it. There's a lot of history over there. At one time, I believe Prague was the capital of the Holy Roman Empire. I can't remember under who. You know, but these countries are the size of small states. You know, even like you go over to the British Isles and stuff, and you have like Scotland, that's about the same size. It's like the size of like South Carolina. You know, you put all those islands together, they're smaller than New England. Germany would fit inside Texas very easily. So would a lot of countries over there. And then they want to compare our numbers with anything. Well, this European country, why don't you compare that to a state that would be more accurate? You know? Well, you have a great night too, Diva Michelle. No, this is not commie chili, Mark Malone. This is Texas chili. One of my grandmothers may have been from what is now the Czech Republic, her family, but I am from Texas. I am a Texan through and through. We have a rich Czech culture here and a rich Hispanic culture here. But I am definitely Texan. I'm definitely American. Although I will say that the Czech Republic has their own version of the Second Amendment. Something about living under communism all those years. Once they got everything back, they're like, hey, these guns, yeah, you're not taking them from us again. Funny how that happens, you know? And the illusions of a lot of our youth get their college education by people that fill their head full of crap about communism and socialism and all that. You talk to people who actually came from countries and lived under it. They are completely against it. They will set you straight real quick. Doesn't matter if it's someone from Cuba or some communist country, South America, former Soviet bloc in Eastern Europe. The other thing they'll also tell you, speaking of Eastern Europe, as bad as the Nazis were, the communists were worse. And anyone who lived through that, which I know a few, will tell you that. As bad as they were, for someone to be worse than a group of people that literally marked you for extermination. It gets a little dirty with the Slavs because there are groups that sided with the Germans. There was Germanification and all that good stuff, or bad stuff actually. But we were marked for extermination right alongside with the Jews. And we died in the same concentration camps. They used us for slave labor. You know, any kind of descent or anything, you went to Terezin or you went to Auschwitz or you got put in a mass grave. And for a group of people to be worse than them, yeah, you don't want that stuff here. And if anybody doesn't like that opinion, well, I really don't give a damn. I may not care for any of our political parties just because the whole establishment thing, I think they're kind of working together. They're all messing with us, both sides. Kind of agree with Carlin and Zappa and quite a few others on that aspect of it. You know, but I'm definitely anti-communist. 100%. Now I'm going to add, this is minced, but I smashed it and then I minced it. I wish some of like my great aunts and stuff were still alive to talk to. And even my cousins' grandmothers. One of them might still be alive. I haven't talked to her in years. It's weird that the whole family basically, on my mom's side of the family, and my grandfather was Baptist. And he was English, French, like Cajun French, and Cherokee. And my grandmother on that side was Scotch Irish. And all of their kids ended up marrying into Czech families. I think that has to do with the large amount of Czechs that came down here to Texas. And they married into Catholic families. My father's family was a little bit different. They were, what do you call it? They called it English Catholic, Episcopalian, what have you, when they came over here. And I have an aunt that's a Jehovah's Witness. Do I care? Not really. I say, do you? That's what gets you through the day. That's what provides purpose and meaning in your life. I really don't care what denomination you're on. I do know if I go to Mass, it's going to be a Latin Mass. There we go. Let's set just a little bit longer, and we're going to start adding some more stuff to it. Sorry to get a little political on you there. Where are the jalapenos? The jalapenos are going to be in the form of chipotles, which are smoked jalapenos, and adobo sauce. And as far as the chilies, we have 3 different kind of chilies in there, dried chilies that we have heated up and added beef bouillon to and blended up, and I'm about to pour back in here. Mr. Mark Malone. Hopefully that answers your question. Oh, it's a whole bunch of people over there on Rumble. Maybe they didn't like my anti-communist comments. I really don't give a damn. I don't like the fact that the Republican Party has signed into legislation most of our gun control on a national level. So most of them are pretty much rhinos. I don't like the perpetual poverty that gets pushed by the other side with all, the welfare state and all that kind of stuff. I definitely do not like communism. I understand socialism to a point, minimal, just enough of it added into capitalism to give it some humanity. Because we can't be throwing 9-year-olds down coal mines and letting them die, There's stuff like that. I do like roads, I like highways, I like stuff like that, but you can't get carried away with it. Yeah, a little. You can add 2 or 3 and it's not too hot, and you can add 5 or 6 and have it really hot. They also have a sweetness, especially with the sauce, which is what I'm going for and what I'm going for with the other peppers. I am related to people who actually lived under those other conditions. So if you wonder where my views come from, yeah, that's basically it. They got to live under that dream and realized it was a nightmare. Okay. We're going to add that broth and the other peppers. Try not to spill everything. There we go. I'm really good at spilling everything back over the counter. Sorry, that was bugging me. And now to get it dirty again. So, what all do we want to add here? I probably need to find the can opener wherever it is. There it is. I swear one day I'll be organized. But today is just not that day. Now we have chili. I'll turn this down just a little bit. We're going to start off Chili is not actually that hot. It's got some spice, but it's not that hot. It's a tablespoon. I'm going to add a tablespoon of this smoked paprika. It's going to be one of the few times you ever see me use smoked paprika. There we go. I might add some more to it too. I do not know yet. Cumin. So I should add a tablespoon or a tablespoon and a half or two. It's about a tablespoon. That's two. I'll put two in there. Oregano. Not putting as much oregano in here. I'm going to put a teaspoon. Anyways, at some point this week, I should be having my Czech Fest video come out. And like I said earlier, on Patreon, I have a video of the band that was playing there. Can't remember the name off the top of my head. They were a Czech band. It's two. I'm going to add one more for three. I'm going to pour some of this wonderful adobo sauce in here. It's probably about a teaspoon or two. And I need to open this. I got the mild because I'm not really trying for the spice from this stuff. Basically HEB brand Rotel tomatoes. And if you have Roma tomatoes, once again, about 5 or 6 diced up, will work way better than this. HEB mild diced tomatoes with green chilies. That's just because I forgot to get Roma tomatoes. Where is my spoon? Always keep you a small tasting spoon. It's about what I'm going for. A little bit more chili in it. 2 teaspoons. Oh, I forgot the cumin, didn't I? Or did I put 2 in there? I do not remember. I think I did. I think I put the cumin in there. Yes, I did. I put cumin in there. Stir that in there real good. That is better. You could add a little bit more if you like. So now what am I adding to it? Am I forgetting anything? How the spices. Does need a little bit of salt. And the bacon and the better than bouillon is going to have salt in it, or enough salt flavor. There we go. And we're going to add this back. Yes, I'm kind of chopping these up a little bit. See how Rumble does. When I mention a political opinion, for some reason I don't get monetized even on Rumble. Not that I'm extremely political. I just like freedom. I think most of our political parties are trying to do away with that in one way or the other. How do we get on that? Oh yeah, Mark Malone. He asked if it was commie chili. It's not commie chili. We had a velvet revolution. My ancestors moved here long before then. There we go. Trying to heat up a little bit. Yeah, I seem to have lost all but 5 over on Rumble. Start cutting some of this up. I don't need it. And it is in my way. I will need a bowl. In the not too distant future, I will need a bowl. I know the bowl that I want to use. Here it is. Does anyone else feel like they're the only ones that know how to do dishes in their house? Sometimes I feel that way. It may just be me. There we go. That one. And I need something else. I don't know where it is. That's always great when you don't know where it is. But essentially, we're just going to cook that for right now. Get it good and heat it up, good and warm. The meat is basically already cooked. Everything is basically already cooked. The longer you cook it, the more the seasoning and everything is going to sort of blend and soak into everything else. And that's what we're going for. And I'm going to let it cook longer than what I'm going to show on here. It looks like I'm probably only going to be getting one day off a week for a while. That's just going to be a thing. I'm so tired when I get home. An 8-hour day is like a vacation. I do not know what she did with the cheese. I do know I need to stir this. And turn it down. And check the chat. Oh, there you pepper. No more comments. See what she did with my cheese. So I need sour cream. I need cheese. Got Colby Monterey Jack. Where is my cheese? Sour cream. And onion. Why did that fall? Oh yeah, the cat. The lovely part about having dogs and cats chase each other. If you put something on a counter, it might get knocked down. DM Foss, listening while working on something. That is awesome. Oh, and here's what I forgot. I knew I was forgetting something. I knew I was. There we go. Use about half of this can. Do you not want to scrape the bottom with a metal spoon? Do you want all the tomato paste off the spoon? Dog? No. Sorry. I have to get on my animals sometimes. Don't think I really need any more water. I could add a little bit. But we're going to see how this does. And those chipotle peppers, if you don't want to just add them to it when you're cooking like that, another way to do that where they're not coming up in your chili like that is you could put those in the blender as well. Just a million options, that's all. That's actually really good. Check my comments. No more over on Rumble. If you're on Rumble, leave a comment, leave a rat. Leave anything you want. Helps the algorithm, lets me know that you're there. And once again, thanks to my patrons so that I have the money to buy the food. Like I said, last week I did not have chili money. I had cabbage money, so I made cabbage. Another thing that you can also add to this, which I was thinking about doing and I kind of forgot, was you can add beer to it. Your favorite beer. I'd like a good Pilsner. Something like Pilsner Urquell, something like that would be great. You can use any beer. You can use a Dos Equis or whatever. I always check stuff on my channel. Maybe I should do some beer tasting. If y'all would like to see me do beer tasting, leave a comment and let me know. And I will do beer tasting. I think if I would have used the other pound of meat, I would have probably added a beer to it. And it would have probably been a Dos Equis. You can use a Bud Light, you can use a Miller. If you can't get a good, like a Pilsner or a Urquell, like real good Pilsner beer, Miller works pretty good. That's a Pilsner. Hell, Shiner Bock actually works really good too. Like a good dark beer would work great, but you can use any of them. See my peppers sticking out here. That's all those chipotles are. They're smoked jalapenos in adobo sauce. Someone else got a chat going. It's 9:32 because my viewers went down to 2 on the YouTubes. So just where we're at. Last week's video didn't do that great on Rumble. It did good on views, didn't do good on monetization. So we'll see where that goes. I think I said something political in that one too. Their recent controversy, what have you, they've lost some of their advertisers. That might have something to do with it as well. Because of whatever's going on, whoever's manipulating who, whatever side has an agenda. And then it affects everybody else's money. What was it? Oh yeah, that British guy always plays a goofy character. He's got a talk show now. It's like, I don't know what pill it is, but he went from almost like far left to all of a sudden he's like, went past Tim Pool the other way. And I think they're canceling him off of a bunch of stuff. And Rumble said no, so they were losing advertisers. I think that's what it was. Some Me Too stuff. I don't know the whole story. I don't know enough. I mean, yeah, there's believe all women, but how about we just take all women seriously and realize that not everybody's on us before we ruin people's lives? Sounds better. Okay, how about we don't dismiss her? We look into it and we find out what actually happened the best that we can. Courtney Love was talking about that stuff decades before, and everyone dismissed her. Oh, she's crazy. Oh, she's on drugs. She's this, she's that. She had a band before Nirvana. Oh, she's everything's only due to her husband at the time. It's like, well, not really. She was doing her own thing before him. And yeah, she's a little crazy, a little nuts, but she was telling us all about Hollywood long before. Oh, DM Foss, that's awesome. Thank you so much, and thank you for those drawings. You sent me a logo that would work really good this month about a year ago. And instead of saying Chasing Ghost, it said Chasing the Ghost. And that's kind of when I started that channel up, my bike channel. I was wondering if there's a way that you could do that same logo and just take the word the out of it. And that would be perfect, especially for this month, like a Halloween themed logo. That would be awesome. Where is my other spoon? I'm gonna have to wash it. I'm an idiot. You eating your food. He's actually on a few of my videos. I think my shorts for my channel. He's a big guy. There you go. And DM Foss, I love the drawings. Thank you so much. Drop a spoon because this is just about ready. And like I said, I'm gonna let this cook a while longer afterwards. But it's basically, you can eat it right now, but the longer you cook it, personally, I'm gonna let it cook about another hour or two while I'm doing a bunch of other things. But the longer you cook it, the more the seasoning's gonna do its thing, if that makes any sense. I try to keep these down to about 2 hours if I can. Sometimes they're 3. I don't have enough time for 3 tonight. Because 2 o'clock comes really, really, really early. Make sure nothing's sticking. And we have cheese. And I have sour cream. This is Borden. Something she had. I was going to buy cheese, and she's like, no, I have cheese. And of course, HEB, sour cream, regular. I generally don't get the light or the 2% milk or any of that kind of stuff. The Black Bear Forge. Tongue twister there. Hello, how are you doing? Thank you for joining the chat. I've been thinking in 2 languages today. It's been messing me up a little bit. Because I went to a Czech fest and I was like thinking things, Czech, what have you, and it happened. You'll send an updated logo. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. My other logo, the one that you see for Terrasmus Kitchen, was made by Guns and Barbecue. If any of y'all are on his channel or would like to look him up, just type in Guns and Barbecue. And he made me that logo. About the time I had my accident, I don't know if it was right before or right after, he also did a fundraiser while I was off of work and wondering if I was going to lose my leg or not. So if you ride a motorcycle and if you can at all wear as much gear as you can, please do. I still ride one. I don't wear enough gear because it's hot as hell down here in Texas, and it's also hard to find sizes if you're not a beanpole. I'm over 6 foot, kind of thick, and I would love to have motorcycle pants that didn't look like a big trash bag. They look like that. Who's that artist in the late 90s? That Missy Elliott, where she was wearing like a trash bag. I can find motorcycle pants like that, but I can't find any in my size. So I would love to find them. And anyways, after my accident, he did a fundraiser that helped me out tremendously. So if any of y'all aren't subscribed to his channel or haven't watched his channel, please do. He's an awesome guy. But given the names I see out there in the chat, you all know exactly who I'm talking about. And I do not forget when people do things like that. Off. I am going to dish some of this up in a bowl. I'm not going to do a whole lot of it because this is my lunch tomorrow and the next day. That should be enough. If I can get up there, we can get a good look at it. Chili, no beans. And we have cheese. It says tear here. Does that ever work? Has anybody ever ran into a situation where one of these packages where it says tear here actually works how it's supposed to work? I'm going to put some cheese over the top of it. My dog wants some cheese. There you go. But he can smell all this meat cooking. And here's some sour cream. This isn't the sour cream I thought it was, though, because I got some brand new sour cream as well. And let's see if this is any good. I don't like it. So I'm going to look for the other sour cream. While I'm doing this, and while the cheese is melting. My kitchen is way too small. But it's cottage cheese, it's not sour cream. Where is this? I just bought sour cream. I'm having a crisis here looking for the sour cream. Did it not get put up? No, it did not. So I'm glad I found that. That is a sour cream. Here's the onion from earlier. It's a little bit of a garnish. Not too much. A scoop of sour cream. Move these out of the way. Probably wipe this down, so hold on a minute. I do need to take a picture of this. The joys of YouTube. I need to take some kind of picture of it. Take that off. There's always that spot on the side that bothers me. Oh well. Let's see what I can do here. Hello, Rumble. I haven't forgot about you. I do need to go to my camera. That down there. Well, Put it over here. Little spot down here. It's where the things you see when you go to take a picture. And I just wiped all this down, but you know how it is when you're cooking. Maybe it'll be better over here. I'll turn the handle. There we go. Make sure I got some pictures. Plug this back in. I may have completely screwed up my charger. It says it's 15%. And I will try some. And it's great. That's another thing too. I kind of cook like my grandmothers and my mom, where a lot of the times it's like, how'd you cook this? And you're thinking of ingredients. I'll have to go back to how much did I put of this? How much? Because I'll taste things and I'll see how it is along the way. And this is not real spicy. In fact, it's not spicy at all. It's got the flavor from the peppers. If you want to make it spicier and actually have it hot, you could add some more of, where did I put them? Are they over here? Or are they over there? Oh, they're here. Add some more of these to it. The chipotles and adobo sauce. And you could add some more, I believe it's the guajillos over there, to it. Or instead of adding the mild, you can add that. It'll make it spicier. The regular, just original Rotel, or you could put the hot in there. But you can add it as you need it. And it will get just a little bit spicier, but this is never going to be really, really hot. This right here, I think most kids could handle it fine. You know your kids. If you're going to cook this for your kids, taste it before you give it to them. But they shouldn't have a problem with it. It's more flavor than it is spice. There's hardly any spice to it at all. You emailed it to me. That is awesome. But you can make it hotter. You can make it less hot. If you use the Roma tomatoes instead of the Rotel, I would add more of the chipotles in there. I would probably put about 5 of them in it. And I wouldn't add it like I just did. I would put it in the blender. Because what you're going to do, if you use the Roma tomatoes, kind of like when I did the Mexican meatball soup, you want to roast them in there and then put them in the blender. And then put the chipotle peppers in there with it and blend it up. And that makes a real nice base for the chili. So let's see where we are at. 2 hours and 1 minute. That is awesome. And if it gets a little too spicy, the sour cream kind of helps balance that out. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to buy a bag of Fritos on my way to work, and I will heat it up and I will put it with Fritos. And that will be my lunch, probably tomorrow and the next day, possibly the next. And if I have enough time tomorrow or the next night or what have you, I might also make some cornbread to go with it. I just sort of ran out of time and had to pick what I was going to do. But it's good. It's not too hot. Chili, no beans. And if you want to add beans to it, like I said earlier, even in Texas, most of the chili that I've ate here in Texas has all had beans in it. So if you want to add beans, I would use pintos, and you can cook them by themselves. You can cook them with the chili. You can buy canned pinto beans and add it to it. There's a million different ways you can do that. It's the same recipe, but you're going to add your beans to it and you're going to let it cook longer. And you're going to let the seasoning and everything sink in with the beans. I probably let those beans cook. Like where I took the meat out of it, and it was just the broth, the beef base, and the vegetables and all that stuff. I would have put the beans in with that and probably let that cook for a while and then put the meat back in with it and then let it cook an hour or two longer. If you're doing it in a slow cooker, because you can do this entire thing in a slow cooker. Do the first steps, put it in a slow cooker, warm up your peppers, get them nice and soft, put the bouillon in there, and you can do your whatever kind of tomatoes, stuff like that you're using, your seasoning. You blend all that up and put that in a slow cooker. Do your meat, put that in a slow cooker, and then you just set that for like 4 to 6 hours or 6 to 8 hours, and you should be fine. And that will make a wonderful chili. But I'm going to put a lid on this. And let me shake it down a little bit. There we go. I'm going to put a lid on this. I'm going to let this cook for an hour or two longer. And I may even put it in the slow cooker before I go to bed because I'm only going to sleep about 4 hours. And I will dish this up. That is my lunch. So I will catch all of you later. Thank you so much for watching. We've been on I tried for 2 hours. It's been 2 hours and 5 minutes. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all the views. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't. If you haven't, hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Whether on whatever platform you're on. If you're on Rumble, hit the thumbs up for there. Give me some rumbles. It helps with the algorithm greatly. And I will see y'all. If I don't make some cornbread or something in the next couple of days, I will see y'all next weekend. I think I'm getting some volume out of my phone. That's what I was hearing. Oh, one other thing you can do to it, you can add a little bit of corn flour to it to thicken it up if you wanted to thicken it up. But I did not have, sorry for mentioning this late, I did not have a need to thicken it up with the corn flour. But you could add a few tablespoons of corn flour to it, and that works really good for thickening it up if it's not thick enough for you. But anyways, I will catch you later. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to go ahead and hit the end stream thing up here on the top right. So Bye.